Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Liz, and today's video, as you can see by the title, is going to be my most embarrassing cheerleading stories. Before I go into the video, I do want to give a disclaimer. One, in case you see me using my arm, because I do use my arms a lot, I sprained my hand doing absolutely nothing, maybe just sleeping, and I woke up. It was a bit painful, but the next day it was just excruciating. I thought I broke it. I was like, oh my god, I think I fractured my wrist. And they're like, what makes you think it's fractured? I'm like, I don't know, but it hurts. And they're like, no, you didn't break anything. But my hand was a bit swollen compared to the other one, and I couldn't like rotate my arm like downward or like outward. I left work early to go to urgent care to get like an x-ray, and it was just like a whole thing. And I got there and she was like, you touching my arm or whatever, and she was like, does this hurt or whatever. And then when she got done, I was like, no, that didn't hurt, but when you pressed that hurt. She's like, well, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, I thought you were feeling for a broken bone, so I just let you do it. And she's like, no, if something hurts, like, let me know. And I'm like, okay. Well, it was like right here in my like ulnar, the bone. I'm talking like you guys know this, sorry. Well, if you don't know, your radius is the bone that's near your thumb. Your ulnar is the one that's near your pinky. So that when I rotated it inward, that's what hurt. She made me like move my hands in different ways and stuff like that. She's like, okay, do this, wiggle your fingers. And then she's like, turn it downward and then out. And I'm like, that's gonna hurt. Like, I already knew. But I was like, okay. And then I did it. She knew it was most likely not broken. So she's like, let's just get a basis and see if it's broken or not. Got the x-ray. And she's like, okay, it's probably sprained, so, you know, take some anti-inflammatory. She recommended me to get like Aleve, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, ibuprofen, you know, Aleve, Advil, Tylenol, all those over-the-counter drugs. And then she was like, okay, well, we can give you like a little splint. We can give you like a brace, either wrap it or something else. And I'm like, what do you recommend? So she put the thing on first. She put this on. I was like, that feels better because it like will my dogs, sorry, it will restrict me from moving it, which I was like, okay, I'll just do this. So I'm on Aleve and I'm icing it several times a day, but it's still very much swollen. I don't know if you can tell, but this is the one that is pretty painful. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but it is swollen to me. Moving on to what the actual video is about, my most embarrassing cheerleading stories. Another disclaimer, my level of embarrassment, it might be different for somebody else, or what embarrassed me might be no big deal to somebody else. But it's very hard for me to get like feel shame or like get embarrassed, because I'm like, I don't care. Some of these are just like, it might be embarrassing for other people. So the first things are probably might seem a little frivolous and just like, it's not embarrassing. But anyways, let's just get right into it. For those of you who don't know, when I was in high school, I was a cheerleader. We weren't competitive. We didn't compete with other cheer teams. We were a very basic cheerleading team, okay? We didn't even tumble, okay? And tumble, it's like little stunts and stuff, because for us to learn how to tumble, I think my coach needed to be verified or certified, and we needed to practice on like mats and stuff like that, which we didn't have. And just for us to even practice in certain locations, like we didn't have a set spot to practice in every single day, you know, for whatever we needed. So like a lot of the time we had different locations where we were training in and practicing in. So in our school, cheerleading wasn't seen as like important, or like we didn't have a reputation for being good, or, you know, whatever. We still had the same cheers from maybe like 5-10 years ago. So like everybody in the audience knew the same cheers. And at one point, people from the audience got down next to us and started doing the cheers with us. So let you know. Anyways. So that being said, we weren't competitive and we weren't expert cheerleaders. Okay, we were very basic. Sorry if that offends anybody, but it is what it is. Throughout the video, I guess I'll pop up pictures or stuff of our cheer team. So like I said, I cheered, I believe, for 3 seasons. I'm not sure when I started. It was sophomore year when I started cheerleading, and we didn't have auditions until maybe like my senior year. So pretty much if you wanted to be in the cheerleading team, you could have. You just had to show up to practices and, you know the cheers and stuff like that. Side note, I couldn't clap and stomp at the same time. Now that sounds like probably stupid if you like decide to be. I didn't find this out until like actually while we were you know, practicing, and they're like, something sounds off, and it was me stomping an extra stomp. But anyways, if you know, like, if you can't stomp and clap at the same time, like, what are you doing? But I mean, I got over it obviously, and I started getting with the cheers. During the fall portion of the school year, I would do cheerleading for the basketball teams. These are not in chronological order because me myself, I don't know. Okay, I don't know what came first or what didn't come first, what happened which season, what didn't happen. So I'm just gonna start by listing them off. Well, the first thing, or the first couple things I want to mention is, during a couple of the seasons, my coach kind of got fed up with us, and she was like, I've had it, you know, you guys don't want to go all out, or, you know, we weren't performing to the ability she wanted us to be performing at. So we weren't, as cheerleaders, we weren't very independent to like start calling all the cheers during the game or whatever, and she wanted us to call a cheer every like 15 seconds and stuff like that. And after a while, we didn't have that many cheers, so we were just like, oh, okay. She's like, you guys are like acting like spectators and not like cheerleaders. You need to be cheering for the other team. Even if your team is losing, you still need to cheer them on, and they'll get your energy and start playing better. I don't know the logic about that, baby, but she had a point. But after a while, she got like fed up with us, and this happened during a couple, like this happened a few times throughout the seasons, and it was the same cheerleading coach throughout all this 3 years. We were cheering, and at certain points my coach got fed up with us, and she was like, you know what, just all of you in line, one by one, start doing toe touches in the middle of a game, basketball game, in front of the entire audience. We had to start doing toe touches, right? So like we had to, you know, do our little 1, 2, 3, whatever, do our toe touches. And I was a little chunky girl, okay? I'm not as big as I am now, maybe like 50 pounds, 60 pounds less than I am today. But like, my dogs are so annoying. Apologies in advance. Alright! Jesus. Anyways. So, like I said, one by one, we all had to like do our toe touches, and a couple of the girls were like, nah, I ain't having it, I'm not doing that, and I think they just walked the fuck off. Like, they just dipped. Shout out to CC, because she was not here for it. If you're watching this, I made friends with a lot of the girls on the team, and one of them, she's like, nah, I'm good, man, I'll give you my skirt right now. So like I said, I was a little chunker, so when I do my little 1, 2, 3 toe touch, like I'm in the air for like 2 seconds, and then I'm coming right back down. Like even when we had a routine, like I didn't get in the air as long as, like I wasn't in the air as long as the other girls. So like during a routine, like we had to choreograph it where I had to wait for a second while everybody else touched the ground to then start the rest of the rest of the routine, okay? So anyways, so yeah, that was one of the things. Another time, it was during a football game, and there was another cheer team that came, and they were like way much better than us, pretty much. And I think my coach was maybe embarrassed, like in comparison from our team to their team or whatever, and she was just mad at us or something, and she made us run laps around the football field, either during the game or like during their halftime. And it was just like, dude, I'm not built to do running laps right now. Like I was always the last one in the back trying to like catch up, and I'm like, I can't breathe. And then she wanted us to like keep cheering, and I'm just like, girl. Anyways, so those were a couple of times. So yeah, we had to do toe touches in the middle of a basketball game, and then we had to run laps like during a football game. We did not go, because there were away games and then there were home games. We were the cheerleaders. We only cheered at home games because they didn't want us, well, they didn't want to pay for a bus to take us to like away games, pretty much. Like that's like just to set the scene. They didn't care about us, okay? They didn't care about us, pretty much. So basically we only cheered at home games. Though there was one time where I think the basketball team, by the way, we cheered for the guys. We cheered for the males varsity basketball team. So we only stayed at home games because they didn't feel like paying for a bus for us to go to away games. So there was one time, I think there was like the semifinals or something like that. So, and they got up to that point, and then they had an away game, and we were able to go to the away game. our coach told us, like, while we were sitting in this, like, at the stands, that we had to go perform in the middle of the field. And I think it was like in White Plains. What was it? I think it was called Cross County or something like that, where it was like a huge, like a stadium 5 times the normal amount we're used to, and we were all like freaking nervous. And it was like, what, you want us to perform our little cheers in the middle of the stadium? There was another cheer team from our opponents, pretty much. And then we were like all nervous. And then at one point they're like, hey, there's not enough time for you guys to do your cheer routine or little things, so there's nobody going on the court. And we were like, oh, thank God, because we did not want to do that. So we did our little cheers, you know, offense, whatever. We sat in little fold out chairs towards, like, right near the court, but not, you know, anyways, close enough. So then we were cheering or whatever in our seats. And so the opposing team obviously had their supporters, their fans or whatever, not fans, but whatever, their family members and people in the stadium to promote the team, our opponents, pretty much. And then they started to mock us. They're like, we can't hear you, because they were mocking our one of our cheers. They're like, we can't hear you, dun, 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 whatever. And then our coach was embarrassed about us, but whatever. And then one of the girls, again, Cece, she didn't give a fuck. She just stuck her middle finger up and was like, F all of you. And then it was just like it was not a good game for us, okay? It just whatever, it wasn't a good game. We weren't prepared. We don't go to away games. It's just, I don't know, it just wasn't a good time. When we got, like, on our way back, our coach had it. She was like screaming at us or whatever, and she just went off. I think this was my senior year when they started to do auditions to become a cheerleader on the varsity team. And I bombed, my guys. Like, I was so, that was the first time I had to, like, perform or, like, audition by myself, and, you know, just an audition in general. And it's just, I was so nervous, and it's just like I had to start over so many times. And, like, to them they were like, just get it over with, just do it. And it just wasn't good, and it was just like, and then they posted all the names of the girls who actually made it on the team and versus the understudies. Which, if you don't know what an understudy is, I feel like everybody does, but if you don't know what an understudy is, it's like you didn't make the spot, but you're just, like, in the background in case somebody else gets sick. You still have to learn all the moves and all the cheers, but you'll never be, like, actually on the the team full out. Basically, that's what an understudy is. So then I saw the team, I saw the names or whatever, and I was like, God. And then it was only me and another girl that got placed as an understudy, and I went off. And when I saw the team, I was like, nah, I think I cared. I was like, nah, fuck this, whatever. I was so mad. And then her boyfriend, who was a security guard at the high school that we were at, was there and, like, told her everything. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then when I think it was one of the practices afterwards, because I was like, okay, whatever, I still did all the cheers and stuff, and I was the understudy pretty much. So I went to all the practices and whatnot. And then she basically she addressed the whole team, but she went off and she's like, you guys are representing the school, you have to be ladylike, and you can't just be, like, going off all the time and stuff like that. So that was one of the conversations she had with, like, the whole team. But basically it was sparked by, I guess, my reaction or other girls, I don't know, but that was that. So anyways, I got placed as the understudy, and I think one of her cousins was also on the team. And then her cousin she didn't care that much about the team, and she just stopped showing up to practices and stuff like that. And then one of the days where her cousin didn't show up to practice, I guess she was upset about that. And then she took this time to then promote me to, like, varsity team. And then she went and said, well, you know, Liz has been, you know, going to every single practicing all the cheers and stuff like that. You know, she didn't, like, just quit just because she got put as an understudy and da. She said all these nice things, so I'm pretty sure it was just sparked by the fact that her cousin didn't give a shit about being on the team, and, you know, just wanted to promote somebody that was actually caring enough and wanted to be on the team. So I feel like it was a bit of both. But I was like, okay, whatever. I'm on the varsity team now as a full member. As you can see throughout the video, it's a common theme for my coach to be very upset and lash out on the girls a lot of the time. Well, I guess that could be relative. I don't know what you want to call it, but for some people it might be, like, lashing out. For other people it might be actually coaching. So basically one of these practices, we weren't, you know, going all out. We weren't going like as well as we should have been during this practice. And my coach kind of pretty much had it. She's like, you know, until you guys decide that you actually want to be cheerleaders and stuff like that, you know, there's no practices. And she just like ended the practice early. And then she sent out this big message about like, you know, I'm tired of people saying that we're shit cheerleaders, and you know, you guys aren't, basically like that means shit pretty much. it like, just to sum it all up, I don't want to quote, that's not, obviously that's not the exact words. I don't have the messages. I don't have the phone I had when I had like 6 years ago, and I don't want to misspeak and like misquote someone when it's not the actual words, but it wasn't a good message pretty much. So I ended up showing my brother. I'm like, yo, she really went off, my guy. And then my brother told my mom, and I was like, no, why would you do that? I was like, really, it was not, because my mom was not a fan of my coach, okay? Let's just put that out there. My foster mom was not a fan of my coach. And so she saw the message, she went off, man. She was like, she can't talk to you guys like that. This is why, you know, I really don't like your coach, da 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 da. And then she called her boss. My mom, my foster mom, called the director of like, the director of basically that manages all the sports in that high school. And I was like, oh my god. It was so, it was not a good thing. And basically I still had to see her, like we still had to practice. It was not good. It was not good. Basically my coach's job was on the line. Like she was like, could have been fired. And I had practice the next day. Basically I had practice the next day, and then she talked to the whole team. And I don't even remember if it was like an apologetic sense of like, you know, I shouldn't have talked to you guys that way, or, you know, I wanted to talk to you guys because I thought you guys weren't being like the way you were supposed to be. Like you guys weren't giving your all the way I want you guys to be. Like I don't know, but all I remember is that basically she kind of rolled her eyes and she was like, my job is on the line, and kind of looked at me and just pissed, just like an attitude. And I'm like, yo, it's not like I complained to my mom to be like, yo, get this out of here. Like I showed my brother, and my brother showed my mom, and my mom went off. I didn't want her to do that. I was just gonna let it rock. Yo, it was not good. And I'm pretty sure she talked to the girls that she was like actually cool with, and it was just like, yo, you know, this whatever almost got me fired. I'm like, technically I didn't get you fired. The actions you did against, you know, like 15 or 16-year-old girls almost did. But like we're not gonna talk about it. Anyways, yeah, so basically eventually I think she got over it. I don't know. Basically I wasn't her favorite. Let's just put it that way. I just wanted to cheer, y'all. I was just having a good old time with my friends. One of the friends I met during cheerleading is like one of my best friends to this day. I think it was like maybe, I think it's been like, so sophomore year in high school to like now. So I graduated in 2015. So maybe like 2013 we met, and then we're friends now to this day. So like 2020, so like 8 years. Y'all, I can't do math. Hold on, wait a minute before I look stupid on the internet. Wait a minute. So we spent 4 years in high school, right? So 2011, what was it? 2015. 2011, 2012, 2013, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. So 2013, right. Okay, I was right. So about 2013, met my friend, my best friend, and then I know her till now, so like 20, so it's like 7 years. I had to use a calculator, you guys. Also, the way I say calculator, please don't come at me. It's just easier for me to say calculator instead of calculator, or like sandwich instead of sandwich. It just takes more effort. Comment down if you do the same thing. Also, I feel like I should take this moment to like put a disclaimer on this video. I don't want you guys to go in the comments. I mean, I don't get any comments, but like maybe later, like this video is going to be on my channel for like a long time, so it's just going to be on my channel probably forever. But I don't want you guys to like throw hate at my coach or anything. Like I don't think she watches my videos. I really don't. Like we don't keep up with each other at all. Like, but in case she does come across this, I don't want you guys to go in the comments and be like, your coach is awful, why would your coach do that, or da 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 da, whatever. Like, no thank you. Please don't. I'm just telling you guys my experiences, mainly for entertainment purposes, okay? I guess we should move into the last final thing that was my most embarrassing moment throughout my entire cheerleading career in high school. Why did I call it a career? It really wasn't. It was like a hobby, but whatever. So my coach really put like in a lot, like, and I'm not gonna say like my coach is like an awful coach, because she's not. She really isn't. She really put a lot of effort into making us what used to be like the cheerleaders back in her day, which is like, actually I think they competed, but they were actual like cheerleaders. They did stunting, they did, you know, everything. I think it was maybe our senior year at this point in time, and the cheerleading team as a whole haven't received new uniforms in the past like 8 years, and that says a lot, because I think it's like every few years or something the cheerleading team gets a new uniform, but whatever. So I think comfortably I was probably like an extra large or something like that, and then the uniform stopped at XL, and I was like, I'll make do with this, whatever. And usually we wear leotards. I'll pop a picture. We normally wear leotards under our actual uniform. Yeah, so we got, like, our coach made it so we got new uniforms, and she was trying other things. Like, we didn't have pom-poms for a while, and then like we bought new pom-poms. It was like the little cheap $12 ones, but they were pom-poms nonetheless. My coach is doing a lot of things slowly to try to make us, you know, better and better cheerleaders and stuff like that. As far as like, I think she made up new routines, like new cheer routines and new cheers and stuff like that. Anyways, so she was doing a lot of things to try to, like, you know, better the cheerleading team. So we ended up getting new cheer uniforms, and it was like lit. It was actually really nice. We got new cheer uniforms, right? But before that, we were learning a dance routine, right? We were learning this whole dance routine to the song Bang Bang by Ariana Grande, Jessie J, and, you know, Nicki Minaj. And so we learned, I think it was a 5-minute routine, I have no idea, but we had to perform this dance routine in like one of our home games, and in the middle of the field and stuff like that. Like, we had a soundtrack, obviously it was that music, and, you know, it was a 5-minute dance routine, and I was like, bang bang into the boom, you know, whatever. So basically we didn't get to practice, and we didn't get our new uniforms until maybe like the day before the game, right? So we didn't get to practice in our uniforms. So we honestly, we didn't even, you know, we didn't practice with our uniforms in general. We just wore our uniforms like the day, basically game day. You know, we couldn't like wear our uniforms during school hours. My coach said no, pretty much. I think I invited this guy I had a crush on or whatever to the game to like watch me perform or whatever. And, you know, because it was nice. We got our new uniforms, we had a dance routine, which we never performed any dance routine prior to this. We just did our cheers. So I was, needless to say, I was very excited. And then we were doing our little cheers, and then it's time. I was so freaking nervous. Oh my God. Like, you get used to it kind of, like performing, you know, in front of these people. But then, because like in high school I was very like timid and shy, and I didn't, you know, whatever, I just kept to myself and stayed in my little circles. But like, it's different when you're performing in front of all these people. You still get nervous. So it was like our dance routine. I was really nervous. We were in the middle of the routine, and then I started doing my dance routine, and then my top came up. And okay, I didn't flash nobody, but like my belly was out for like the world to see, and oh my God, it was so embarrassing. And I'm like trying to pull like the whole because we're just moving, man. Like, there's no like, you gotta go full out, man. So I was starting to go full out, and then, you know, my belly came out because the top wasn't covering me. I wish we would have had our leotards under, because I wouldn't have cared. But anyways, it came out, and then the whole, mind you, it was like 5 minutes, the whole dance routine I was trying to pull down my shirt, and because of that I was a whole second off from everybody else. I knew the entire routine, but obviously I was off for like a whole second, and everybody can pinpoint when that one person is out of rotation. Like, it's not, you're like, there's no hiding it, because there was only like 8 of us. We weren't a big team, so it's not like I could hide behind somebody. And this was supposed to be the time where we debut like our actual dance routine, like, hey, we're actually good cheerleaders, you know, we did try, like, whatever. And here I am with my belly all out, and like this wasn't the time where like I was proud of my belly or like didn't care. I was just like, oh, this is embarrassing. Now probably I wouldn't have cared and would have kept going and would have stayed on beat with everybody else, but no, I kept pulling down my shirt and I was off a second, and then I was just mortified. I was so embarrassed. All these people were coming to see me, and like I just put my head down and just went off stage when it was time to, well, I just went off the court when the routine was over. And everyone's like, oh my god, you guys did so amazing. I said, no, I didn't. I was off beat. Everybody could see me. Like, my belly came out, and I was just so, for the rest of the game, I was just so mad. It was halftime. What was it? Yeah, it was halftime, so we still had another half of the game to go. And then I saw my mom afterwards, and she was like, she knew. She was just like, I'm sorry, Liz. And I was like, I'm so mad. Oh, yeah, still to this day, it still bothers me. Yeah, those are my most embarrassing cheerleading stories. Honestly, it could be worse. Honestly, it could have been much, much worse. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, because YouTube makes me say this. And yeah, bye.